Welcome back to our YouTube channel Mechanical Engineering Exams Made Simple. We will see some more beautiful questions from other parts of your automobile engineering syllabus, friends. For your AMV examination, let us see. The bearing clearance is provided to allow for lubricating oil to flow. This all we know. The gauge used to check the bearing clearance is. So friends, for any type of clearance, we are going to use the feeler gauge. Okay, wire gauge is used for some other purpose. 3 wire method, 2 wire method is there. Dial gauge is used to mainly to measure the out of roundness, and a plug gauge is used to measure the inside diameter, something like that. Okay, friends. So any clearance normally is measured with the help of a feeler gauge. For example, the clearance between the cylinder wall and the piston at the TDs, let us say. Okay, there is a small clearance. That's why we are providing clearance volume. It is going to take place a very important role in calculating the compression ratio. Yes or no? The total cylinder volume by clearance volume. What is total cylinder volume? Clearance volume plus stroke volume by clearance volume is going to give the compression ratio. Okay, so compression ratio is a very important parameter in the working of any engine, IC engine. For example, your compression ratio is very important parameter in limiting the knocking. Actually, the compression ratio in case of SI engine is limited by the knocking tendency of the petrol air mixture. So compression ratio is a very important parameter, and also in calculating the compression ratio, clearance volume is going to play a rather very important role. So this clearance volume and hence the clearance is measured with the help of a feeler gauge. Right. A cylinder block made of aluminum requires, is it aluminum liners or brass liners or cast iron liners? So aluminum, a cylinder block made of aluminum requires, so definitely if it is made of, cylinder block is made of aluminum, then it requires cast iron liners. Right, which can be removed later. Okay, so when they wear out. Now the viscosity of an engine oil can be defined as the ability to resist penetration. This is your hardness. Easy flow, it is only to give you confused, to make you confused. Form foaming is something different element is there. Resist the flow, the resistance to flow is known as the viscosity. The resistance to flow of a liquid or fluid is known as the viscosity. Alright, the device which can be used to hold and locate a round piece for drilling is a V block, friends. Okay, it is going to support on the two faces, V sort of faces. So that's why is a round, the device that can be used to hold and locate a round piece for drilling. So this is going to be neither the adjustable locator, pin locator, wedge type locator. Locators are also used, but for a different purpose, friends, because it is cylindrical or circular shape. Your V block is going to serve the purpose. Right. What is the counter sinking angle for seating a counter sunk head machine screw? This is 90 degrees. This is 90 degrees, approximately right angle. The material used for making crankshafts is aluminum, brass, draw forged steel or cast iron. Friends, it is a draw forged steel which is normally used for crankshafts. Why? Crankshafts are subjected to different types of, they are subjected to variable loading, friends, actually. So when the machine components are subjected to variable loading, they are going to subjected to fatigue. Yes or no? What is fatigue? It is a failure of the material which is very much below the yield stress is known as the your variable loading. For example, I have got a member which is subjected to tension and compression alternately. It is going to fail at a stress. Let us say for that material for us, let us say 400 megapascals is the yield stress, but let us say in tension. But if it is subjected to tension and compression simultaneously, it is going to fail at 200 megapascals only. So this type of loading is called your fatigue. So because the crankshafts are subjected to fatigue loading, so they are normally made of forged steel. Forging components are going to be having more density. Right. So that is the main reason for making the crankshafts with a drop forged steel. Right. Next, the camshaft gets drive for crankshaft. To obtain 500 revolutions of crankshaft, the crankshaft makes, normally friends, the camshaft speed and crankshaft speed is equal to half. So camshaft speed is equal to half of the crankshaft speed. But because the camshaft speed is given 500 revolutions, crankshaft speed should be double than that. That means 1000 revolutions. 1000 revolutions. Such type of questions are very confusing. Okay, if you are making half, you are getting 250. Yes or no? 500 means same. For example, if you are under the impression that both speeds will be same, then it is 500. Maybe 4 times it is 2000 revolutions, but actually the ratio of the camshaft and camshaft speed is equal to half. The power output of a diesel engine is controlled by, is it the compression ratio or regulating the quantity of air inducted or regulating the quantity of fuel supply, varying the pump timing? No. Pump timing, no. Varying the compression ratio, no. Regulating the quantity of air inducted, no. Regulating the quantity of fuel supply. Actually, friends, in the diesel engine, what happens? During the suction stroke, only air is inducted into the cylinder. It is sucked and compressed in the compression stroke. At the end of the compression stroke, we are supplying the your fuel diesel through a fuel injector. It is actually the more the fuel you supply, the more the power generated, the power output. But whereas in case of a petrol engine, it is not the case, because actually both air petrol mixture is going to be sucked and compressed. Okay, at the end of the compression stroke, just before that, we are going to ignite it with the help of a spark. So it is actually throttle which is controls the power produced by a your petrol engine or SI engine, but it is the regulating the quantity of fuel. Okay, with the help of the fuel injector, you are going to supply the power output of a diesel engine. So the correct answer is regulating the quantity of fuel supply. The radiator cap serves two purposes, that is to increase the boiling point of water and increase evaporation of water, or increase let us say boiling point of water and minimize evaporation of water, decrease boiling point of water and reduce evaporation of water, decrease boiling point of water and increase evaporation of water. 4 combinations: increase, decrease, decrease, right? So here actually the correct answer is to increase the boiling point of water and minimize the evaporation of water. If the boiling point of water is increased, definitely it is going to evaporate at a higher temperature. So that means the chances of evaporation will decrease by increasing the boiling point, because when the boiling point is less, at less temperature only the boiling of the water, okay, is going to take place. To prevent that, what we are going to do, we are going to arrange a radiator cap. So it serves the two purposes. That means increase the boiling point of water and minimize the evaporation of water. That is the correct answer. Next question. The diagram is not shown, friends. It is actually what you call. So the question is the name of the part marked A. It is the movable jaw. So this is related to the workshop object, okay, in which you are going to make the firing operation, like that is called something else, right? Not a problem. So why are the woodruff keys used on small tapered shafts with assembly? Is it that they can take heavy load, or they can take shear stress, or they fit equally easily and self-align with the keyways of the hubs? We know that the shape of a woodruff key is going to be just I was referring to this particular, friends. This your bench wise, okay. So the diagram is 61st question. It is bench wise. It will be having both fixed jaw and movable jaw. The diagram actually it is not given here. It is showing the part A is showing the movable jaw, handle, spindle, and all those things are there. You know that, right? So actually, so for this 62nd question, the correct answer is they fit easily and self-align with keyways of the hubs. Okay. So the basic shape of a woodruff key is going to be semicircular. Yes or no? That curved part is going to be retained in the curved recess of your shaft. So because of which reason they fit easily and self-align with keyways on the hubs. Hub is a hollow part of the, for example, a flywheel or your pulley or your gear. So the correct answer is they fit easily and self-align with keyways in the hub. For chipping mild steel, the cutting angle of the chisel is 55 degrees. 55 degrees. It's a direct question, friends. The value of 1 thimble scale division in metric micrometer is 0.01 mm. That is 1/100th of a mm is known as 1 thimble scale division or 1 division or 1 thimble simply. The correct answer is 0.01 mm. In heat treatment process, the normalizing is done. Improve the machinability, refined grain structure, increase hardness, or increase brittleness. Increase brittleness is never the aim of any heat treatment operation. We have got various heat treatment operations, friends. Annealing, normalizing, then you are hardening, then you are tempering, etc. Tempering is the raising the temperature of the already heat treated or normalized or annealed part. So in heat treatment operation, what you are doing? You are actually heating the components and keeping that for some time there at that high temperature, and then you are cooling that particular metal part or mechanical part. So because of which, if the cooling is very rapid, it is going to increase the hardness. Sometimes we need a little less hard materials or mechanical components. So for that purpose, what you are doing? So after doing the your heat treatment operation, so you are going to reheat again to certain temperature range. That is called your tempering. Annealing is done in so the basic medium in which the cooling is taking place is very important. Okay, so annealing, then you are normalizing. Annealing, the part is cooled in the air only. Okay, like that. So in the furnace, in the air, so it is going to be cooled in the quenching medium, something like water, your oil bath, etc. So the quenching medium is very important. Okay, so now the temperature range through which you are heating the object is also very important, and the time which you are keeping that object is also very important, and the rate of cooling is very important. If you are cooling it that means the cooling rate is very high, that means the temperature drop per unit time is very high, then it is going to result in a very brittle component. Okay, friends, so that is not at all the purpose of any heat treatment operation, but improve the machinability. It is basically it is the main, I think, the aim of the annealing. But here the main purpose of a normalizing the object, which is a heat treatment operation, is to refine the grain structure. That's very important. Refine, that means to decrease the grain size, right? This is going to have a impact on various mechanical properties. So what is the main aim of any hardening, any heat treatment process? It is to improve the various mechanical properties of your metal parts or mechanical objects, mechanical parts. For example, hardening, you are normalizing, annealing, then you are what you call tempering. All these operations are your heat treatment operations, right? Increase the hardness? No. Increase the brittleness? Not at all. So the correct answer for this is normalizing. Always remember, the normalizing is done to mainly refine the grain structure, right? A nut which can be tightened, loosened by pressure of thumb and is used on hacksaw frame is called wing nut. So neither the ring nut nor cap nut nor thumb nut, it is the wing nut. Actually, this is a nut which is tightened and loosened by pressure of thumb and is used on hacksaw frame. Measuring gauges are required to be wear resistant. Okay, what heat treatment process is done to get such property? Case hardening, friends. So in the case hardening, what you do? You are only hardening the only case. For example, your what you call your gears, your what you call pulleys, then your pulleys, gears, and other one is flywheels. Okay, so actually the actual load comes on the surface, periphery. Okay, there that means case. So you are going to increase the hardness of the case, but the core remains soft. So for this purpose, so similarly, your what you call your measuring gauges are required to be wear resistant. So these are subjected to the case hardening process. So neither the normalizing nor annealing nor tempering. Tempering is in a way is a reheating the already hardened or the metal part subjected to hard heat treatment process. Annealing, normalizing, tempering, and case hardening. To be specific, it is case hardening. You are only hardening the only case only. Core you are going to, or it is going to be remaining soft only. The correct answer is case hardening. So from the periphery or surface, a small thickness, let us say 1 mm, 3 mm or 5 mm. So from the periphery or surface, this is going to be hardened, because actually the load is taken by all these components which I was referring to just now. Your flywheel or pulley or your gear, they are subjected to tangential loading, yes or no? So they are subjected to tangential force. The load is basically taken at the periphery or surface, so that they have to be made very stronger and harder. That's why you are conducting case hardening operation. Similarly, on these measuring gauges also, you are going to conduct case hardening heat treatment operation. Which angle makes the rake angle in a twisted drill? So it is going to be helix angle. Point angle is, I think it is 118 degrees, friends. Lip clearance angle. Clearance angle is basically provided to avoid the rubbing action between the cutting tool and your workpiece. Chisel angle, it is not the case. So helix angle is the correct answer for this particular question. Coming to the next one. Ductility is a property of a metal which helps to manufacture, actually it should be wires, friends. Actually the property of material to be drawn into wires is called ductility, and the property of material to be drawn into sheets is known as the what you call malleability. Okay, so here the answer is given as sheets, no problem. Wires are sheets, but if the benefit of doubt, you can take as the sheets as the correct answer, but to be specific, it's actually wires. Right. Which mobile hoist is used for self-loading and shifting from one place to another within a factory? It is a forklift. It is a forklift. They are used within the factory for doing this particular job. What is that job? Self-loading and shifting from one place to another. Okay, friends, in this video also, we have seen very excellent questions from your examination point of view, covering some production, some thermal, etc. In the next video, we are going to meet with some more good questions which are very, very important from your examination point of view. Automobile engineering, AMVI, Tspsc or APPSC. Let us meet in the next video. See you all.